Here in the 1990 U.S. Hobbit Association Camel Tour, this is Fort Worth, Texas's Rod Morris. The four-wheel Crazy Ford Ranger King Cab machine, always a potent entry. Rob Morris, a radical landing there as the rear end dances around, but he saves it and keeps it under power. That was the driving job of qualifying so far. Very smooth effort over the cars on the second straight. Look at this kid take the turns. Morris is hot. Absolutely beautiful driving, and there it is. Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher Supercharged Chevrolet. That is always one of the toughest opponents at any U.S. Hobbit Association event. Porter, a very conservative launch, keeps it low to the ground. Now let's see how he handles the turns. And Porter oversteers it just a tad, but gets right back on the throttle, keeping it low to the ground so he can apply power over the crush cars. Now into the next hard left. And Porter figures it out that time very nicely. Actually getting a little more aggressive on the final flyby. The elapsed time, 21.05 seconds. But coming out, the consummate monster truck driver. The original pro wheelman for Bob Chandler's Bigfoot operation, Jim Kramer. He leaves the starting line incredibly aggressively. Now watch Kramer in the turns. A little bit oversteering, but now very aggressive on the back straight. He lands it and takes it into the last turn immaculately. Look at this guy go. Kramer lands it hard with an elapsed time of 19.18 seconds. Out of the state of Nebraska, the new driver behind the wheel of this gorgeous GM product is Wayne Suzanek. Beautiful straight arrow launch, a little bouncy into the first turn. Suzanek just hangs on as the machine looked like it was going to head almost into the retaining wall. He now picks up the pace and straightens it out. Still, the truck with the bouncing problem completes a run of 27 seconds flat. The Nightlife machine, though, pretty much guaranteed a spot in this field. From St. Louis, Missouri, for the Ford fans, it's Ray Perkowski's gorgeous Invader Ford. Ready to take the green, leaves the line nicely. Keeping it low to the ground. Now the supercharged Ford, plenty of power into the turn, maybe too much. Perkowski manages to keep it relatively straight, but has problems lining the truck up with stagger steer to hit the crush cars completely. However, he keeps at least two wheels on the crush machines. That's all that's required. And crosses the finish line actually in pretty good shape. 22.44 seconds for Perkowski's Invader will slide him into the program. So at the end of qualifying, as you can see, a nearly 1 second cushion between the Bigfoot Ford and Texan Rob Morris. Stay with us. We're back at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds Arena as we get ready for round one of eliminations. The first pair up. Bigfoot, the #1 qualifier against this man. Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher Chevrolet, the #5 qualifier in this field. They leave the line, and it looks like the Carolina Crusher may have had the advantage on the first half straight. Now, look at Kramer make the turn. Unbelievable ability. And he picks up a truck length advantage at the halfway mark. Into the turns for the last time. Porter goes wide, and it will cost him the race. You can see Kramer carrying it beautifully across the start-finish line. A wild form of racing, but extremely competitive either way. That will bring up Ray Perkowski's Invader, taking on the Kid. 19-year-old Tennessee campaigner Greg Holbrook in the Equalizer GMC. Both machines bouncing violently after their first landings, but Holbrook makes the turn perfectly. And problems for Perkowski as he goes wide and comes in tight. All really the Equalizer has to do is follow the Ford around the course to pick up this victory. While this particular type of racing equalizes, no pun intended, the racing despite high horsepower, low horsepower trucks. One thing's for sure, if you make a mistake, you're history. Perkowski completes the course, but he knows he's out of it. And Holbrook takes the equalizer GMC into the semifinals. The next pair pulling to the line will include newcomer Wayne Suzanek in the Nightlife Chevrolet up against Ron Dennis, the wheel of John Moore's no problem Ford Bronco. And a massive hole shot to Ron Dennis. A truck-length lead in the first half straight. Now he has to handle the turns. And he goes wide and runs into problems. But on the other side of the course, Suzanek has even bigger problems. He went wide in his first turn. Ron Dennis only has to complete the lap to take the win here. Rob Morris in the four-wheel Crazy Ford out of Fort Worth, Texas, takes on Don Van Loo's Bad Medicine. Problems for the Bad Medicine machine sideways right off the line. Van Loo somehow manages to straighten it out. Now he takes it into the first turn. Rob Morris already over the second set of crush cars. Van Loo trying to catch him. Unbelievable hit. The Bad Medicine machine lands and drives full throttle into the retaining wall. Absolutely horrific crash. The worst crash we have seen in the 1991 Camel Tour. The paramedics already on the scene. Several drivers, including Gary Porter of the Carolina Crusher, leaning in the driver's window, checking to see Van Loo's condition. What a horrific incident. A completely sideways landing. It appears that Van Loo was actually knocked unconscious and fell onto the throttle, full throttle. Don't say the fans didn't get a front row seat on that one. There he is, coming out of the back window. Unbelievable. He's going to walk away from this. Gary Porter still holding on to Don Van Loo as he is obviously disoriented, but he appears to be reasonably okay. The paramedics will no doubt have to take him in for a checkup. The semifinal round will present some incredible action. And don't forget, we still have one of the wildest super-modified mud racing wars yet to come, along with monster truck action. Don't you dare go away.